Welcome back. This is Answer Me This, part of the Fatherhood in Focus podcast. I'm Aidan, dad, host and founder of the Modern Fatherhood Club. Every week I'm going to ask you one uncomfortable question, not to shame you, but to sharpen you. This is about legacy, impact and the man that your kids actually see when you walk into the room. The world is happy for you to just cope. We're here to help you choose how you show up, how you lead, and how you love. Before we dive in, if you haven't already, subscribe to the podcast, hit subscribe on YouTube, and grab one of our free fatherhood resources at themodernfatherhoodclub.com. They're built to support you from those early, messy days right through to when they're shouting at you from across the room. All right, take a breath. This week's question, gonna test you. This is about the legacy that I want my kids to carry. This year, I want to push harder. I want to deliver more. I want this to live, not to just get through, not to bide my time and wait for something, but to really live. Last year, we built. A house became a home, and as Christmas got closer, we finally had a house that we could call home. But that all came at a cost, financially, mentally, physically. I cut a few corners, I took on more, and I pushed for more. Things that I'd prioritised for a long time, well, they took a back seat. And for the first time in a long time, life felt out of control. When I look back, it created distance. The boys, they grew up much faster than I ever expected. With the house in a constant state of flux and with no flooring in sight, the play and noise that came with it disappeared. And when our house was finally finished to a comfortable standard, we'd missed so much. And I felt for the first time that time had slipped by. Moments to connect, they'd been lost. That's why Christmas this year for us was so important. We were both off and it meant we could repair, devote time to the boys without distraction, close the distance and catch up on all the things that we had let slip. More importantly, I think they got to see us. There was a calmness, a patience, a relaxed atmosphere. But I guess that's what the outside world creates. A schedule, a list of things to do, time, pressure, conflicting priorities. Play returned. Games were part of everyday life. Laughter and chaos erupted. My cup, my wife's cup, their cups were full. Walks in the cold, bike rides through the forest, snuggles on the sofa, watching all our Christmas faves. It felt like we were a family again. But it also felt like a stark reminder. This time is precious and we dictate the energy and the tone. So my question for you this week is simple. If your kids had no memory of your job, your income or your ambition, what would you want them to remember you for? It's not what you did, what you bought or what you built. It's bigger than that. It's how you made them feel. The tone in your voice when you said goodnight. The way you held their mother's hand after a hard week. The way you looked them in the eye when they were scared and you said, "You've got this." This is where we let go of someday, because what they'll carry isn't what you'll eventually become. It's who you're choosing to be this week. It's who is on show in every interaction. For me, it was never about what. It's about how. How I show up, how I make them feel, how I feel about myself, how ready I am for the challenges ahead, how prepared I am to push, how much I'm willing to give, how I manage my time. What's important to me, it's not important to them right now. They don't understand it. They only see the output from it. That output can be financial, but in real terms, It's all about meeting their basic needs. Because legacy, my friend, legacy is in the distance. It's what you leave behind, but it's built over time. It's built in the how. My legacy cannot just be about showing up. It's about more than that. It must be about who I was in those moments when they needed me and how I responded when they needed love, warmth, and support. My legacy isn't about what I gave them. It's about what they see and what they learn from me. It's about who they grow into and how they respond when the pressure is on. It's about remembering how I cheered them on and gave them that confidence to try something difficult, something new. For them, it's about knowing that no matter what they do, Dad is always going to be there. He will always back them, believe in them, and help them become the men, the daughters that they're destined to become. It's about how you respect yourself and never stop believing in your ability to deliver and find happiness. If they see me smiling and we're all happy, then I've done what I've set out to do, which was to lead and inspire greatness without losing sight of who I became in the process of being their dad. So if you could start over in 2026 and commit to something bigger than yourself and truly show up as the dad you've always wanted to be, what would you want them to remember about you? What would you want them to remember you for? How would you show them that you love them? How would you make space? How would you lead? How would you love and respect their mother? How would you hold their hands through troubled times? How would you respond when the pressure is on? How would you give them what they needed without losing sight of the things that still matter, those things that make you tick, those things that light you up? Or, if we went even deeper, if all the achievements disappeared, what do you want your kids to hold in their heart? You see, that's the heartbeat of your legacy. It's not what you did, but it's who you were in the moment when they needed you most. Your target in 2026 must be to redefine what it means to father with presence, to lead without ego, to inspire without demanding. This isn't about parenting. This is about permanence. Last year, it felt like the brakes were on. Yes, I still delivered on things I'd set out to achieve, but everything felt rushed. From March onward, I felt like I was chasing my tail. My kids saw me. I spent time with them, but underneath it all, at times, I was disconnected. Look, life is busy. As parents, though, especially when they're young and they're finding their voice and confidence, we need to learn to control the tempo. We need to learn to be still and be comfortable in the silence and accept, for the most part, what they need is to see someone prepared to connect. A man prepared to treat those he loves with respect. A patient, understanding and caring man. A good leader. A strong, authentic, passionate and present man. A man who is willing to make sacrifices when the time is right, but also a man who understands and respects his power over their world. A man prepared to push them and help them recognise their potential. Because your legacy isn't what you give your kids. Even with the best tax planning on earth, you're still going to burn out. You're still going to leave this world and your kids with a massive tax bill. Legacy, it's what they carry when you're gone, not in their hands, but in here, in their hearts. We build and we will continue to build a future that we can be proud of creating. How we build it, that's on us. How we behave as we build it, that's on us too. What we're building doesn't matter to them. So we have this routine where we ask the boys questions before they go to bed. What made you happy? What made you sad? What made you angry, frustrated? What would you change? And what are you grateful for? Now, the biggest obstacle to your legacy is the world outside. The moment that you slow down, the minute you give them your attention, the experiences that you create and the quality of those experiences, well, that's going to dictate your legacy. Because when asked those questions before bed, happiness was the easiest to answer, but it became about family time, time with friends. Sadness, anger and frustration became a footnote. The thing they changed was simple: more time with you and mum. And the list of things they were grateful for, it grew exponentially. I think we build this life hoping that they'll aspire to be something greater, push themselves to be better, see opportunities and learn from failure. The harsh truth is, what we build cannot be a blocker to who they see, how we show up, how we make them feel, how we feel about ourselves, and how ready we are for the challenges ahead, how prepared we are to push, how much we're willing to give, how we manage our time. The world, my friend, is getting in the way of you becoming the dad they need. If we paused more, if we connected more, if we cared less about what others had to say and thought, if we just lived, would the legacy you leave behind be any worse? The real legacy is what they remember when life gets hard. They won't remember how many hours I worked or how much we earned, but they will remember how I made them feel when they were scared, uncertain or proud. They'll remember whether I looked them in the eye, whether I sat down and listened, whether I told them I was proud before they had something to prove. My wife sent me a reel the other day. She sends me them all the time. I don't always look at them, but sometimes they give me some inspiration. This one, it had a simple message. It was things to say to your boys when they're young, and one of them stood out. It was, I love being your dad. Not I love you, but something different. So this year I've made it my mission to inspire you to live aligned to the values and beliefs that will help me leave the right legacy behind, and to always learn new ways to talk to my boys. Because what I want most is for them to say this: he believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. He showed up when it counted. He never made me earn his love. He didn't just give us things. He helped us become something. That he smiled and he jumped into the games that we played. That he made time. That when the pressure hit, he didn't cave. He leaned in. And that when he told us, you've got this, he meant it. And that he loved our mum with a raw and filtered passion. And that he never forgot who he was when he was becoming our dad. It's got to start now. Not when they're old enough to understand. It has to be lived and experienced. With bedtime stories, with the school run chats, with laughter in the kitchen, with how you hold their mum's hands in the hard moments, with the time that you have. The size of the task at hand is often ignored. This opportunity to shape a life is left to slip by. We are not here to leave behind a legacy that makes their life easier. We're here to make the most of the time we have left, to meet their basic needs, to throw ourselves headfirst into the challenge, to be aware of who we are and how they see us. We can have ambition, we can chase success and chase so much more, but it must not block that connection that lasts a lifetime. We are one of the first generations of men to really stand shoulder to shoulder with the women in our lives, to get hands-on, to nurture, to live, to be present. The world, though, is not set up to allow you to amplify your impact, But that doesn't mean you cannot control the influence of the world around you and the goals you are chasing to ensure that they see you choose them. Choose how you show up. Choose the man they see. Legacy isn't built in speeches. It's built in reactions, in how I respond when I'm tired, in how I lead through chaos, in how I love without condition. That's the man I'm still becoming, and I'm doing it in front of them. I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to adapt. I know I'm leading with intention, but this year, for me, it's about this. To be the man they need in the moments when they need me. To show them love, warmth and strength. To build a legacy on the foundations of family and not just on the foundation of provision and the future. That's the legacy I'm chasing. Not success, not status, but safety, courage and joy felt in every room I ever walk into. You want to know if you're leaving a legacy? Ask yourself this. Would my children become the man I am today and be better for it? If the answer is no, that's your call. And if it's yes, don't stop. Because that's not just a footnote in your future, that's immortality. Thank you for listening. I'm here because I lost sight of what was important and it almost cost me everything. But that challenging time, well, it also taught me about duty. It taught me to live aligned to the things that matter and to never overlook the small stuff and my impact on their world. Above all else, it taught me how I can influence every interaction. And that's what I fight for every day. I want to be the dad who's present, not stuck at a desk, glued to his phone, the dad that's connected, laughing, teaching, guiding. And I know the price of not doing that. I've lived it, and I know that they felt it. I've made mistakes. I've missed moments. But I'm not letting them define who I am. I'm fighting for a future that serves my kids, not just one that looks good on paper. Remember, your standard is going to set the tone and it's going to create a vision for their future, one that you nurture over time. This podcast is not about making sweeping change. It's about taking a step forward today, one tomorrow, and doing it every single day. If you start today, where will they be in the future? What path will they follow? And how much will you and they grow? Most important of all, what will your bond be like? As always, write it down and dive into the detail. Create something so powerful and unique that you cannot wake up and not move toward it. Your change, any change, must be necessary, but it's got to leave a mark. Because they will follow in your footsteps. They'll learn your behaviours, adopt your values, and treat people in the same way that you treated them. Not just that, they're going to live how you lived, love how you loved, listen how you listened, prioritise how you did, show up in the lives of those they love, just like you did. Your role is simple. Give it everything you have. Give them what they need. Never overlook the small stuff. And remember that legacy isn't things. It's stability, it's strength, it's passion, it's perseverance, it's pride, it's love. It's how we make them feel in the moments when they see the man we are and the man that we're becoming. All right, that's today's question. You have just spent a few minutes doing what other dads avoid. Slowing down, being honest, and looking at how you're really showing up. because that matters more than you know. Remember, your kids don't need a perfect man. They need an honest one. And they need a dad who's willing to reflect, reset, and lead from the front, even when he's tired, under pressure, or just coping more than he'd like to admit. If this episode landed for you, subscribe to the podcast and hit subscribe on YouTube so you don't miss out on any new episodes. And if you haven't yet, join us at themodernfatherhoodclub.com, where you'll find free resources and reflection questions designed to help you become the dad they need. You can also check out the Ultimate New Dad Toolkit, the New Dad Recharge course, for those of you ready to realign your energy and priorities. And there's going to be details on our upcoming antenatal course for new and expecting dads. Look, I'm not perfect, you're not perfect, but we are committed to leading with confidence, strength, openness, and heart. Committed to giving our kids the version of us that's present, not just productive. Thank you for listening, for reflecting, and for doing the work. This is the Modern Fatherhood Club. This is Answer Me This, part of the Fatherhood in Focus podcast. Lead from the front. Never underestimate the power you have over who they become. And I'll see you in the next episode.